Oh, this is a fantastic day, everybody. What a performance by your Philadelphia Eagles as they punched their ticket back to the Super Bowl, to New Orleans, as Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley completely mop, and I mean mop, the floor of the Washington Commanders. Jalen Hurts, sensational. Saquon Barkley, sensational. This offense. Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. Oh, Jalen Hurts, he can't do this, he can't do that. He's got to get his guys locked into the game. He's got to target A.J. Brown more. He's got to do this, he got to do that. You can't trust Jalen Hurts in the passing game. What did Jalen Hurts do today? Jalen Hurts put on the best game that he's had in a while. I will admit that. But I knew this was in him. We all knew Jalen Hurts was capable of this type of performance. Passes on mark, Saquon doing his thing, Jalen Hurts making plays when he has to make plays, and there's even some creative stuff in there as well. You got a couple of jet sweeps from Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith. Those were nice. Those were nice the whole time. It really was. It really was. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Some greatness here, boys. Some greatness here by the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl again. Now, we don't know who we play. Obviously, we got to wait until the Chiefs and Bills game is done and over with, but we won't get into that right now because this is what's important. And also, I'm just confident that the Eagles can beat anybody who they face in the Super Bowl, regardless if it's Kansas City or if it's Buffalo. So, putting that out in front. Now, before we get into everything else here today, everybody, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. And if you are new to the channel, I definitely recommend you hitting that subscribe button. It would do me such a great deal of service. You can also drop a like. You can also leave a comment in the comment section down below. I would very much appreciate that of you guys. I love interacting with y'all. And you can also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Use it for anything possible that you feel like. You can also follow over at TTP Sports for TikToks, Instagram Reels, and all of that stuff. I apologize for not being able to get any content out this week. I got stuck on jury duty, and that just exhausted the living hell out of me on top of everything else that I was doing work-wise this week. So I apologize for that. But we will get into consistent content this week and the following week leading up to the Super Bowl because what a win. What a win. There were some nerve-wracking moments, I'm not going to lie. There were some instances where this game got way too close for liking. But this offense completely just balled out the entire day. Seriously, the first play that they do is a Saquon Barkley 60-yard touchdown run. Are you serious? The first play that you have on your first drive. Amazing stuff. Yeah, Washington, they go down the field. They convert a couple of fourth downs. They get a field goal. You hold them to a field goal, which is, and that was this instance where, Dan Quinn was going on it fourth down multiple times on the fourth drive, on that first drive. And for some reason, they don't go for it on, I believe it was like 4th and 2, 4th and 5. in Eagles territory. They decide to kick the field goal. I kind of, I didn't like that. You know, I loved it from an Eagles standpoint, don't get me wrong. But if you're just like, why not just go for it? You're going for it on fourth down multiple occasions here on this first drive, and then you choose not to go for it and you choose to kick the field goal. I don't know. That just seems like weak shit there by Dan Quinn. You know, didn't have the stones, in my personal opinion, to go for it on that fourth down. I don't know. That's just the way I feel, at least. And then Eagles just go right down the field instantly on the first play with Saquon's touchdown. Amazing stuff. Just absolutely amazing stuff. Then the Eagles defense forces a fumble on Washington's very next drive. Eagles go down the field once again, get into the red zone. A couple of good passes from Jalen Hurts to Goddard and A.J. Brown, and Saquon Barkley punches it in for 5 yards to put the Eagles up 14-3. And it's funny, I'm watching everything in the background right here with the celebration with the NFC Championship game. Looks like Jalen Hurts is getting interviewed right now, and these guys are all business right here. And it's weird too, not even weird. I would say it's very crazy as well, because going into this week with the question marks with the injury reports surrounding, you know, Dallas Goedert and Cam Jurgens and all that stuff. Dallas Goedert was fine and he looked really good today, but Cam Jurgens, he was, you know, a game time decision with a back issue and everything like that. So it was really questionable coming up to the game. He tested it on the field in warm-ups just to see if he was ready to go for the first snap. They'd elect to not, and also they had a backup plan prepared. Obviously, they put Landon Dickerson at center. They bring in Tyler Steen at left guard. Landon Dickerson obviously has a bunch of center experience in college, so really wasn't worried from that standpoint. But also Landon Dickerson was dealing with something with his left leg, and he couldn't go throughout the second half. He had to bring back in Cam Jurgens, and Dickerson battled, man. He definitely did. He was fighting through a lot of pain, whatever was happening with that knee. That I believe it was his left knee. And Cam Jurgens, hey, he was still listed as active, so they had him in there for the emergency situation. And good on Cam Jurgens for coming in and, you know, not missing a beat basically at that point. So very helpful. There was, you know, a little bit of miscommunications and struggles a little bit there with the offensive line, especially when Washington was sending so many blitzes out there. And that's basically the only way they were able to stop this Eagles offense, was when they constantly blitzed. But when you constantly blitz, that is going to leave people open downfield. And then the Eagles adjusted to that. Jalen Hurts adjusted to the blitzes, and he found his guys open. Also, Washington taking a couple of dumb penalties. Washington, it was no contest. It was no contest. You can tell the Eagles came into this game with a mission. And now, granted, the defense was a little bit soft in certain aspects of this game for my liking, but they still forced a bunch of turnovers. And that goes to what we've been saying, and every person in Philadelphia has been saying for so long throughout the course of this playoffs. How do you win games in the playoffs? You don't turn the ball over. And once again, the Eagles don't turn the ball over. Jalen Hurts, spectacular once again at protecting the football. Eagles win because of it. Washington, they fumbled the ball 3 times, and then Jaden Daniels throws an interception basically in garbage time, but still turnovers. You turn the ball over, you lose the game. It wasn't going to be a replication of what happened in Washington weeks ago when Washington turned the ball over 5 times and they still won the game. That was an outlier. That was never going to happen again. It's an outlier for a reason. The Eagles weren't going to allow for that to happen again. And plus, for that game in Washington, the Eagles were going to run up the score the way they did today if Jalen Hurts didn't get knocked out of the game. Now, granted, the Eagles were still in position to win that game with a dropped Devontae Smith pass, but this was what it was always supposed to be. This was what Washington, no contest. No contest at all. Now, this is not taking any knock away from Jaden Daniels or anything like that. He's had a spectacular season, and he's going to be a fantastic quarterback in this league. Wasn't ready for the moment. This team was not ready for the moment. The Eagles had a mission, and they are still on that mission to get to the Super Bowl, which they have, and to complete and accomplish the ultimate goal, which is bringing a Lombardi trophy back to Philadelphia. That's been Howie Roseman's mission ever since losing the Super Bowl a couple of years ago to Kansas City when they had a 10-point lead at halftime. Now, did we expect to get to this position 2 years later, especially after the collapse last year? I don't think anybody did. that's just the magic of everything. That's just the magic of the way this team meshed together after the bye week. After this team found a way to just join together and become one, become an entire unit, become an entire family. That credit goes to Nick Sirianni. That credit goes to the coaching staff. That credit goes to the front office. And that credit goes to the players for buying into this entire thing. And now they put themselves in a position once again to get to the Super Bowl and win another Lombardi. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Now, like I said, this game didn't go without its little scares. So after the Eagles, they make it 14-3. Washington, the Eagles defense looks like they force Washington to punt. They decide to fake the punt, which was completely obvious in the way they were preparing the snap. They were taking way too long to snap the ball. And you were thinking, oh, okay, they're going to try something here. And they end up converting the first down. It was a very floaty pass that the Eagles special teams were just not prepared for whatsoever. And Washington manages to go back down the field and manages to kick a field goal to make it a 14-6 game. Eagles, on their next drive, they managed to go downfield, but then Jalen Hurts takes a bad sack, which forces the Eagles into a 50-plus yard range for Jake Elliott, and they decide to kick it. And Jake Elliott misses, as obviously, because he has struggled from 50-plus yards this year. So that was a very frustrating point in this game. And then the next drive for Washington, Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin hits him in stride, gets into the end zone. They try for the 2-point conversion. They fail. It becomes a 14-12 game. Eagles, then they go back down the field. Couple of tush pushes. Saquon, a big 4th and 5 play to A.J. Brown. So good stuff there. He managed to get it for 31 yards on that play. Saquon also kind of got away with a hold on that play too, but we're going to deny it. We're going to deny it there. There was also a missed hold on Dallas Goedert, and then ended up being a false start on the Eagles. And then thankfully, pass interference on Washington in the end zone, and then a tush-push touchdown, which leads to some pushing and shoving by Lattimore and A.J. Brown. Lattimore gets an unnecessary roughness penalty, which brings the Eagles back to the 1-yard line, and they attempt to go for the 2-point conversion. And they fail the 2-point conversion. Washington manages to stop the tush-push on the conversion there. And people were definitely going to question that, oh, why don't you just make it a 2-score game by going up by the extra points? I think that was the right call by Nick Sirianni. If there's a penalty after a touchdown, which allows the Eagles to get closer to the goal line, he's going to go for 2 points every single day of the week. I think that was the right call by Nick Sirianni. I would do it 20 billion times out of 20 billion times there. That just happened to be the moment that they failed in that scenario. But I do like that decision there by Nick Sirianni. And then, this is all going into the end of the half, by the way. Kickoff. Washington fumbles the kickoff. I believe this was Will Shipley forcing the fumble, if I'm not mistaken, and then the Eagles land on the ball. Eagles go down the field once again. They're in great position. Sadly, there was a Dickerson hold that negated a Jalen Hurts touchdown, but thankfully, Eagles were going for it on 3rd down. Would have been a 4th down if Washington decided not to hit Saquon Barkley out of bounds. And it was close too, even though it was obviously supposed to be a penalty. Saquon Barkley put his foot out of bounds, and that's when Washington hit him out of bounds. So obviously, can't do that in that situation. So it became an automatic 1st down for the Eagles. And then A.J. Brown gets his touchdown in the end zone. Great pass there from Jalen Hurts. Extra points good. Eagles go up 27-12. Then something that I didn't like at the end of this half here is one of those situations where once again Vic Fangio shows his very lone weakness with his Eagles defense, and that is 2-minute drills. Just way too much ease for Washington on this final drive of the half. Too many blitzes, losing men in coverage. You allow them to go downfield, hit Zach Ertz a couple of times, they get in the field goal range, and they punch in the field goal at the end of the half to make it a 27-15 game there. That just can't happen. That is very sloppy, that is very poor, and that is a very common theme by Vic Fangio and this defense. They struggle with the 2-minute drills. They struggle with these quick situations because for some reason Vic Fangio decides to change up his schemes and blitz constantly. That you just can't do that. You just can't do that. But it's I guess very hard to change who you are because that's who the Eagles are at this point. They're still the number 1 defense in the league, which is still very frustrating in those standpoints in the 2-minute drill situations. But you're up at half, 27-15. you do get the ball back. Offense doesn't have the prettiest drives in the world. They go down, and Jalen Hurts takes a couple of bad sacks, so a chance to basically punch the game wide open. You fail there. Defense, thankfully, forces Washington to go 3 and out as well. Jordan Davis chasing down Jaden Daniels. I didn't see that happening. I didn't see that happening ever. Jaden Daniels had no room to run because he's got a gigantic bulldozer just mucking down the field going at him. That's what Jordan Davis was in that situation. That was electric. I didn't expect that in the world. My God, that was funny. That was very funny. And Eagles get the ball back. Couple of good passes from Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown and for Dallas Goedert, and that allows Jalen Hurts to punch in another touchdown, and the extra point is good. Eagles go up 34-15 there. Washington, they go down the field, a couple of catches, a couple of runs. Daniel breaks a couple of tackles, manages to get into the end zone to score the touchdown, and they go for 2, and it works. It becomes a 34-23 game. That would be the last points that Washington scores in this game. And Jaden Daniels decided to dance in the end zone when he was down by double digits. Not the prettiest of looks there, Jaden. Not the prettiest of looks there. Man. Oh, man. But then the Eagles' offense, they really don't do much on their next drive to respond. Got a couple of good games by Devontae and Goddard. Saquon trips, and then Luvu just completely blows up a play. Manages to shut down Saquon Barkley. Eagles are forced to punt in this situation. Then it felt like, oh good, Washington's coming back into this game. Oh boy. But then thankfully, Commanders fumble. Bond forces another loose ball on the receiver, and Burks recovers it. They were trying to make it look like that Washington fell in it, but obviously the Eagles, Burks fell on the ball and was down on top of the ball, and Washington just ripped it out of him. So obviously it was recovered by the Eagles, and they get the ball back. Lovely. Always love to see that. Then the Eagles, they go down the field once again. A.J. Brown, Goddard jet sweep. Saquon gets down at the 1-yard line, and here comes the funniest sequence of the entire game. This was just absolutely hilarious. So you're at the 1-yard line, basically, or 1.5-yard line or 2-yard line. I forget what it was. So the Eagles, they line up for the tush push. First down situation, 1st and goal. So you think, okay, you're just this close to the goal line. Why not tush push it? And this sequence, it it is so stupid. It is so stupid. Luvu completely just diving through everybody. Obvious encroachments multiple times to just prevent the Eagles from getting the tush push touchdown. It was the funniest shit in the world. There was like 3-4 encroachments in a row by Washington. It was the funniest shit in the world. Lou knew what he was doing, and Washington got warned when they said, okay, if we're doing this intentionally too much, you can't do it again, and if you do it again, we're going to give an automatic score to Philadelphia. And then finally the tush push touchdown happened. After 50 billion years, after 20 billion dimes, Frankie Luvu doing that on those 2 plays, just diving over the entire offensive line just to stop Jalen Hurts from tush pushing it in. It reminds me of that one video of one of the defendants in a court system. He was just completely broke by everybody to go and tackle the judge over the desk. Oh, that was just funny. That was hilarious. Oh man. Eagles get the extra point. Becomes a 41-23 game. Washington, they're basically getting desperate at this point. They go for it on 4th down situations, and then Nolan Smith gets a huge sack to force a turnover on downs there. Some great stuff there by Nolan Smith. Pass interference on Washington. Saquon Barkley runs it into the end zone and puts Washington to sleep. Does a little sleep motion there as well. Fun stuff all around. Eagles go up 48-23. Jaden Daniels getting desperate. throws a pick in Eagles territory to Quinyon Mitchell. And then basically, this is when the Eagles on offense, they bring in the backup people, bring in Kenny Pickett, bring in Will Shipley and all that stuff. Will Shipley actually had a very long run at the end of the game. It was an 80-plus yard run. He almost got into the end zone if he didn't get tackled at the short yardage there. And then Will Shipley eventually gets it into the end zone. Fun stuff for him. Good for him as well. And it becomes a 55-23 game after an extra point. And also what I loved after this, when all the backups are in, Will Shipley is doing his thing at the end of the game in garbage time and, you know, putting more points up on the board. The reaction from Saquon Barkley was amazing, was absolutely amazing. And we all know this from Saquon for the leader that he is. We remember when the game in New York in MetLife Stadium against the Giants earlier this year, where Saquon Barkley could have went up for way more yardage in that game, and he chose not to because the score was just so drastically wide in that game. He just, you know, let the secondary guys do their thing. And the celebration that Saquon had with Will Shipley, just... This man is one of the best leaders that this Eagles team could have gotten in free agency. And the Eagles have some great leaders in that locker room. Jordan Mailata has turned into a fantastic leader. Jalen Hurts obviously has become a great leader. Same thing with A.J. Brown, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Darius Slay. They have a lot of great leaders in that locker room. Lane Johnson, all that stuff. Brandon Graham, even though Brandon Graham's not playing. Still, there's a bunch of leadership presence in that locker room. Saquon Barkley is something different, man. Saquon is something different when it comes to the leadership mentality of this team. I can't just put my finger on it because he does so many things that are great besides his performance on the field, because we already know how great that is. There's something different about Saquon, man. There just is. And that's what makes this team so special. That's what creates that bond that this team has, that family atmosphere. And like I said, that credits to the coaching staff, Nick Sirianni and all that stuff, and the front office and the rest of the players, because like I said earlier in this pod, something just changed after that bye week earlier in the year. Something clicked. Something clicked. And we're seeing the ramifications of it. Going to another Super Bowl. It's fun stuff, boys. It is great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. I love it, man. This is fun. This is great stuff here, and we deserve it as a fan base. We absolutely deserve this as a fan base. Can't script it any better. Chance to go to the Super Bowl. Well, not a chance to go to the Super Bowl. We are going to the Super Bowl. I don't know why I keep saying that. I guess it hasn't fully clicked and registered in my brain yet. But we're going to the Super Bowl, boys. We're going to the Super Bowl. And like I said, I'm not worried about who we're playing yet. That's not the most important thing here today. If it's the Chiefs, if it's the Bills, doesn't matter. Even though I do think it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't see Buffalo winning that game. I just, just history sake and all that stuff. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Now, obviously, I'm looking at my screen up here right now. The Chiefs are winning 7-0 over Buffalo in the early stages of the game. So we'll see what's going on here. Not sure if one of the Chiefs got injured, but he is running off the field on his own power. Excuse me there. So, great stuff. I do want to see if there's anything else on the Twitterverse as we continue to go over this game. Nick Sirianni praises Jalen Hurts after the NFC Championship game. How about our quarterback? I knew he was going to play that way. All he does is win. That is correct, Nick. That is correct. Obviously, with all the Eagles celebrating on the field after the game. Saquon Barkley said post-game, I always dreamed about it, but the dream wasn't just getting there. The dream was winning it. Exactly right. The Empire State Building is now midnight green or Kelly green, whatever it is. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Rubbing more salt in the wound of the Giants fans there. Oof. 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 Philadelphia fans are now partying on Broad Street, it looks like. Let's see. Great stuff. Let's go to some stats from today's game. Let's see how everything breaks out here. Jalen Hurts, fantastic stuff today. Just beautiful stuff overall. 20 of 28 on his passing attempts, 246 yards, 1 touchdown. He did take 2 sacks, but once again, did not turn the football over once. Wonderful game from Jalen Hurts. And it's going to go with, I wonder how the narrative's going to go this week. Is everyone just going to fall in love with Jalen Hurts now after the game that he had today? Because Jalen Hurts was just sensational today. It's his best game in a long time. It wasn't a long time. Best passing game, just overall. He looked mobile too. So I guess that knee is not an issue, which is very huge for this team. And it's also huge because as well you're getting the bye week before the Super Bowl, so it gives a lot of people to rest up as well. Gives Cam Jurgens to rest up, gives Dickerson a chance to rest that knee up. And with Kenny Gainwell, he did leave the game with a concussion. So it'll give him a chance to rest up. It'll just give a lot of these guys a chance to rest up because they're definitely going to need that at the end of the day. So just good stuff overall there. Saquon Barkley, 15 carries for 118 yards. Obviously, his longest was the 60-yard touchdown run. 3 touchdowns on the day there for Saquon. Will Shipley, 77 yards in garbage time on the 4 carries that he had with a touchdown. Jalen Hurts, he had 3 touchdowns on his own on the ground as well. 10 carries for 16 yards. Great stuff there. Dallas Goedert had a couple of jet sweeps, too. That was very interesting there. A.J. Brown, 6 catches, 96 yards. You knew he was going to get involved eventually. Dallas Goedert had 85 yards on 7 catches. Devontae Smith, 4 catches for 45 yards. Kenny Gainwell had some in there. Overall, some great stuff. Bond, great game once again. Burks had some really good moments. There were some situations where the defense struggled to tackle, and that was when Jaden Daniels was doing his thing. But overall, the defense still played very well. There was just some things that does need to be cleaned up at the end of the day. It's really that quick, easy drives that they allow sometimes to defenses. But that's who they are at the end of the day. So, and they're still the number 1 ranked defense. Quinyon Mitchell didn't look like his injury was hindering him at all. Nolan Smith, once again, a great game. Jordan Davis with that big sack on Jaden Daniels. Jalen Carter, scare. There was a scare with Jalen Carter where he went down for a little bit, but he came right back onto the field like a couple of plays later. So definitely avoided something major there. So he most likely just got the wind knocked out of him in that situation. So thank God. Thank God there definitely wasn't anything else that was major in that situation. So good. Thankfully. It's funny now all the Eagles fans on Twitter are making fun of the Washington Commanders fans that were quote unquote taking over Philadelphia in the Hard Rock Cafe. Oh man, that is funny. That is funny. What else is there? What else is there? Magic Johnson apparently had a tweet about the Commanders. I hate losing. I'm so mad that my Commanders lost, but congratulations to the Eagles for advancing to the Super Bowl. My Commanders hurt our chances of winning the game today with 3 fumbles and too many penalties. Oh, man. I wonder what the scenario is going to be this week, obviously, with the national television broadcasts. Oh, if, like Chris Sims and all that stuff. Oh, well, if you look at some of the plays that went through the game, if you take away like 5-6 plays, the Commanders were going to win that game. The Eagles were nowhere close in that game. Jaden Daniels was going to do this thing. If you take away these 5-6 turnovers and all that stuff, if you take away the Eagles scoring off of all these turnovers, if you take away the fumbles and all that stuff, the Commanders would have won this game easily. Like, that is 100% going to be the revisionist history, and I can't wait for that. I 100% can't wait for that. What else is there? What else is there? Obviously, like, the one thing that just keeps popping up is the people partying on Broad Street. I save that for when we win championships. I save that for when we win. Also, one thing, I guess you could say, the Eagles fans and the Eagles sending off Zach Ertz. Love you, Zach, but kindly fuck off. Kindly fuck off there, Zach. How many receptions did he have today? Zach Ertz had 104 yards today. He was definitely the safety valve for Jaden Daniels today. So, yeah, Ertz did have a good game. And Terry McLaurin, obviously, on that slant route touchdown. But Zach Ertz was definitely the guy they were targeting the most, 16 targets and 11 receptions there. But just think about it like this. The Eagles, it's that video from WrestleMania so many years ago with Shawn Michaels against Ric Flair. When you see Shawn Michaels say, "I'm sorry, I love you," and then he just does the kick to the face. Sweet chin music by Shawn Michaels against Ric Flair in his, what was supposed to be his final WrestleMania match. That was basically what the Eagles were doing today to Zach Ertz. And Zach Ertz had a good game, but sadly, better team won. The better team won, the more complete team won. And could you even say this? Is this probably the best Eagles team to ever make the Super Bowl? This is probably the most talent that they have on all sides. I could definitely see that this being the best, most talented Eagles team to make a Super Bowl. So they got to make this count. You got to make this count. You got to make every chance count because it is very hard to get back here. And granted, this is their second Super Bowl appearance in the past 3 seasons. It's still very hard to get over that hump. And they figured it out. But now they do have to make it count. We celebrate this week. We move on next week and prepare for everything for the Super Bowl. Get your guys rested up this week. Go over your game plans and all that stuff and get yourself prepared for New Orleans. Get prepared for whoever you're facing, even though I do think it's going to be the Chiefs. I just have that feeling. And that's that. We do got a couple of voicemails here. We'll definitely get to those. So don't worry about that. I do have a text message here as well, so we'll definitely we'll definitely do that there. Let's see. Anything else on here? Just Eagles fans and obviously Washington fans dressed up the Rocky statue. Classic. See the Luvu jumping over everything. Oh, that's still funny to watch every single time. That is great. My God. Oh my God. And someone at an ML Football on Twitter posted, "This is crazy. Kenny Pickett has more NFC Championship game appearances than Dak Prescott in his entire career." Oh my God. You didn't have to do that low blow there. Oh man. Oh my God, that is hilarious. That is fucking hilarious. What else is there? What else is here on the Twitterverse before we get into the phone calls? Let's see. Bring this up. All that. Don't see anything else in the Twitterverse. Obviously, I don't think press conferences are happening right now because of the celebration that's still going down on the field. So, yeah, they're still doing their celebrations on the field. We probably won't get any type of press conferences and stuff until a little bit later on in the night. And also as the Chiefs game is going on right here, it looks like one of their receivers just dropped a one-handed catch. So that was a tough play to make. What is this? Is the score still? Okay, it is 7-3 currently for Kansas City. So let's see if these two teams can beat up on each other right now. That'd be nice. That would be very, very, very nice. What else is there? Nope, not seeing anything at all. Not seeing anything. Nope, nothing at all. So let's get over to the Anytime Hotline. We might as well. I'm going to have a busy night on hand, obviously, with some editing purposes, so we'll do that. So let's go to the text message board here. So this is Austin. Okay, this is Austin. I would have called in after that absolute beauty of a game, but I basically lost my voice shouting the entire time. Saquon needs to win the MVP or it's a useless award. All the Jalen Hurts haters can go pound sand. That one guy who was grabbing Jalen Carter's mask deserves to get punched in the face. Outside of a little housekeeping with Elliott and the play calling, we are a perfect form to win a Super Bowl. Go Birds and bring it on, AFC. Perfectly stated. Perfectly stated there by Austin. We did have another call that came in on the hotline a couple of days ago on Thursday. Like I said, I very much apologize for not being able to do anything. I was stuck in jury duty the entire week. Thankfully, that's over. But I was stuck in jury duty the entire week. So that was just an unfortunate timing there. So we do have a call here from Sean. Might as well get to that, and we'll continue here.
New Orleans, here we come. Now, unfortunately, I think the last time they played a Super Bowl in New Orleans was the year they lost to the Raiders 27-10. What really sucked about that is we beat the Raiders in the regular season that same year. So, hopefully the result is different, but congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. The work is not done. We still have one more game to get. The work, again, is not done. Kudos to Barkley. Jalen Hurts, played great. I mean, did what he had to do. Defense struggled a little bit, but forced mistakes, and they took advantage of them. Quiet, underrated hero today, Will Shipley. I mean, big kickoff return to set up points, forces the fumble on another kickoff, almost runs one to the house, and then finally gets his first career TD. Got to give a tip of the cap to Washington. Look, Jaden Daniels is going to be a problem for years to come, and Zach Ertz balled out. I mean, I thought he was going to be an integral part for them today, and he was. Survive and advance. My final question to you, Amadeo, is who do you want? You want the Chiefs or the Bills? I have mixed emotions. Buffalo, if they get it, they're America's darling, America's underdog. The refs might swing it for them, but they're going to swing it for the Chiefs. So I guess you take on whoever you got, right?
Like I said, I am not worried about any team that we face in the Super Bowl. Personally, I think we could beat either the Bills or the Chiefs. And yeah, granted, can't doubt Chiefs and Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid and all stuff. And yeah, there's been a lot of bullshit that goes through their games, but they still find the ways to win. They don't win games solely because of the ref. Yeah, refs might have an impact in games, but you got to respect the Chiefs at the end of the day. They're a great team. Can't, there's going to be a lot of hate towards them, but for some reason, I just don't see the Bills winning this game. It's just so much history. And I think didn't the Bills beat the Chiefs earlier this year too? Weren't they one of the Chiefs' losses or something like that? I forget. It always feels like if Buffalo beats Kansas City in the regular season, they'll get beaten. They'll lose in the playoffs to them. So it kind of just feels like one of those situations. And it looks like one of the Buffalo cornerbacks just got injured. So that might be helping the Chiefs out there. I'm just looking at it right now. So one of their backups looks like they're going in. So we'll see how this game plays out. Still, it's only the first quarter they're in that game, so we'll see. It's still anybody's game at this point, but like I said, I just think the Chiefs pull it out. I just think it's like it's just the Chiefs dynasty at this rate. So, and like I said, I'm not scared of facing the Chiefs. I think the Eagles can definitely beat them. Even though the Chiefs are they won all the games this year, I still don't think this is the strongest version of the Chiefs than we've seen in previous years. So, but like I said, just don't doubt Mahomes' magic and all that stuff. But I'm confident. Number one defense going up against Pat Mahomes. We'll see how that goes if that's the case. Same thing with Josh Allen. I am very much confident in that fact. So we'll see. Oh my God. Pat Mahomes just fumbled the ball. Pat Mahomes, but there is a flag on the field, so who knows? This might be coming back. This might be coming back. Right now, they're still trying to debate who landed on the ball. But I wouldn't be shocked if they're saying it's Bill's ball. They are saying it's Bill's ball, but what's the penalty on? What's the penalty for, though? They're saying it's Bill's ball. What is the penalty? Offside, oh, yep, that just negated everything. Offside on Buffalo. Negates everything. Completely negates everything. Well, I guess that goes to Sean's point, the refs with the Chiefs, but that was obviously offside. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But still, boys, this is a great day. Great day. Here's another stat for you from Shane Haff. Terry McLaurin lined up against Quinyon Mitchell on 36 routes. He was targeted 4 times and had 1 reception for 7 yards. Quinyon Mitchell doing his stuff. Quinyon Mitchell doing his thing. Obviously. What else is there now? What else is there? Nope. Don't see anything else. Here's a tweet right here from Kevin Wildes on Twitter from First Take on FS1. Yeah, no, First Things First on FS1. Jalen Hurts, who was in the Super Bowl 23 months ago, who hasn't lost the game he finished since September, who trades personal stats for W's, who just scored 4 touchdowns on one leg, is indeed an elite quarterback and right now the second most successful quarterback over the last 3 years. Put respect on Jalen Hurts' name. Obviously. Oh, man. Oh, man. Great stuff. Great stuff. Is this a...
He's a stud.
Okay, here we go. Here's a comment right here from Nick Sirianni.
How about our quarterback? How about our quarterback? How about your quarterback? He's a stud. He is a stud. I knew he was going to play that way. I knew it. Don't doubt him. All he does is win. Fabulous, Nick Sirianni.
Love it. I absolutely love it. Man, boys, great stuff. Great stuff. Everyone, all Broad Street is fully ganged up right now, obviously. Yeah, people are going crazy. Like I said, I save those type of celebrations after you win a championship. So let people do what they do when they want to do, though. So I'll celebrate it when you win a Super Bowl. In terms of celebrating on Broad Street, I'll celebrate this win. Obviously, I'm ecstatic for this win. But we'll see. Did a Buffalo do something now? I was not able to look at everything right here. What happened with that? Was it a turnover or something like that? What happened? 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 I don't see anything on Twitter, so obviously something happened with the Bills. So I'm assuming they forced a turnover or something like that. So, yep, forced a turnover. Forced a turnover. Oh boy. Oh boy. We'll see how this game turns out to be. This one might be a lot closer than today's was. So, than the Eagles game was, so we'll see. Bills recover the fumble? Yeah. I just see that now. Yep, Eagles are now celebrating in the locker room. Some good stuff here. Before I get a copyright strike, I don't want to keep playing that. Don't want to play that. Yep, everyone just going crazy on Broad Street. People are climbing the light poles, the telephone poles, everything. They're climbing everything. Oh, man. Crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. I love it. So, don't think there's anything else here on the Anytime Hotline. Nothing in terms of other interviews or anything like that. Got all our stats down. Got everything else down. Think it's a good time to end it here, boys. Think it's a good time to end it here. So, appreciate you all for tuning out here. As always, Eagles are going to the fucking Super Bowl. Let's be excited, boys. Let's be excited. It's going to be a little bit now. It's going to be the longest 2 weeks possible. Definitely is. But we'll make it there. And we'll see what happens. We'll win a Super Bowl. Because I'm not confident in this team. I'm not confident in this bunch. Whoever we face, I'm very confident against. So, we'll see what happens here, folks. We'll see what happens. Appreciate you all for tuning out. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service, as always. You can use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. And also follow over on TikTok and Instagram for reels and shorts and all that stuff at TTP Sports. Appreciate you all. Go Birds.